What happens when it is revealed that the emperor has no clothes on? What happens when it's revealed that the strongman not only has dementia, but is actually weak? Paul from Combat Veteran News explains it best.
Because Trump, despite what appears to be an increasingly dangerous level of dementia or cognitive decline, Trump still understands that when you're a strong man and you are threatening huge portions of your domestic population, crushing domestic opposition, using your security forces to at times execute protesters in the street, when you're engaging in all of these actions, when you're talking about protecting voter security, which of course would involve conveniently disenfranchising something like 1 in 10 American voters. What you are really saying is that, listen, you Americans need to accept that you're going to lose democratic freedoms under me, right? None less than the freedom of the press. But in exchange, authoritarians offer strength. And for a lot of Americans and a lot of MAGA voters, they look around and they see an America that's unable to even muster meaningful responses to international crises and problems. And they turn to a strongman in the face of what feels like problems that their government can't muster the will to solve. But what happens when the strongman loses a test of strength, right? At that point, you are just a regular man, and a regular man has no legitimacy. You're just a criminal, right? So someone like Donald Trump, much like Vladimir Putin, they simply cannot afford to lose a war because it is a test, along of the only thing they claim to do better than anything else, which is be strong, right? It's like the richest family in your neighborhood. Maybe the husband's an asshole, but he makes a lot of money, and he makes so much money that everybody just subsidizes his terrible behavior. We all have seen this story, right? Yeah, he's a jerk, but he's rich. Well, what happens when that guy goes broke? Well, then he's just a jerk. And that's the fear, is that if the narrative that the United States has actually lost this war, has failed to achieve its own objectives, then President Trump is not going to look like a strong man. He's just going to look like a raving 80-year-old lunatic.